Hi, I'm Tonam and I'm from the LCC Art Direction course. So, things that interest me, I'm a visual-led person and I'm mostly intrigued by visuals first before I ever go deeper into exploring something, and I believe that aesthetic is very important. I also like communicating for others. I love seeing my friends' work and critiquing and helping them by recommending artists or even sometimes helping out with some of their technical work. I realized later on that half of the projects that I've done have always been about identity, exploring and presenting the diverse, unique type of people. I believe that being grown up in such an international environment have piqued my interest in the different people and cultures around me. I also love world building. I realize we have been doing a lot of speculative design in art direction and I've really been enjoying them. World building is the ultimate visualizer for me as everything is controlled. I was always interested in the different ways to approach a medium, traditional ways of making things and ways to mix them up. I started my creative journey through photography and videography, where I then later got interested in 3D digital. The works that inspired me were Balenciaga Afterworld, The Age of Tomorrow, which uses a 3D rendered world as a mode of presenting their collection. The collaboration of Fred Perry and Ralph Simmons also made their own world through a template of Google Maps. The both collections allow viewers to browse through the given path, which I think is quite interactive. Having seen work of Namjoon Park in 2019 at the Tate Modern and listening to the guest lecturer Jason Burgess have also sparked my interest in creative computing and things that I could achieve with them, where my ability and work could expand to. Being introduced to Webflow last year, I also want to code website. Coming to CCI was one of the best decisions that I've made. I have a CCI logbook that I logged in every lessons that we learned. However, I chose to create an Instagram account which I use as a platform to log all the codes and Arduino's activities that we did. The course was really different from what I was expecting. At first, learning the basics was really fun for me. However, calling APIs stressed me out and learning to use some of the add-on libraries was challenging. I've had a few stressful months where everything was confusing. However, I later realized that this is my first attempt in coding, and I started looking at the classes as an introduction to the different fields existed. There are quite a lot that we've learned that I wanted to take forward and explore in my own pace. I really appreciated Joe Lewis' talk on procrastination and how we should accept that everyone have a different work rate. I've enjoyed working with all the types of sensors, but I only had the chance to create something with a distance sensor and a little bit with potentiometers. I went to the exhibition Lifeforms in 180 The Strand and was really inspired. The use of sensors for interactivity and how they render in real time. Despite having heard of Unreal Engines, I have realized on this course that it is very accessible as one of the classmates was using it. It is also workable with projection mapping, which is one of the things that I wanted to explore. We had a class on lights using processing, and that weekend I went to the beams. This is where I realized that my mindset has slightly shifted. Normally, when I watch a movie, if I'm really captivated by it, I would always think about the behind the scenes and the process, camera techniques they use to accomplish these. When I went to the beams, I really enjoyed the ambience, but also I started walking around the room inspecting the type of lights that they use and thinking to myself that I could probably learn how to create lights like this as well. I found P5JS to be really fun and easy to understand. I have also slowly been learning a bit of HTML and CSS. One of my friends needed a moving gradient image to render into her AutoCAD and I tried coding it for her. This was when I realized that coding could be very convenient and helpful at times for projects unrelated to creative computing. Having so many things I would like to pursue in my creative career, for the moment, these are my thoughts. I love movies and I would still want to move forward with photography and videography, hence why I'm in art direction. However, I draw lots of inspirations from those around me and love helping out with people's projects, so I want to do a little on curation as well. Last summer break, I interned at a gallery in Thailand. ATT19 is a curated space mixed between the antiques retail and gallery showcasing big artists, emerging artists, and everything in between, so as events. Working in close proximity with Mook, the owner, and joining her in her meetings, I realized curation is not just a space. She have to give advice to artists, recommending usage of materials or introducing different people together for chances of collaboration, all making sure that every displayed objects will fit within the space. She have worked hard to create the brand's mission, which is a lifestyle mixed aesthetic of the home living that ATT19 represents. That was a workshop on knitting synth, which sadly I didn't attend, but was actually really interested in. I love textiles, knit and weave, and if not for Art Direction, I would have gone into that. However, I intend to learn this method of coding for the textile piece to make sounds upon touch and maybe collaborate with my textile friends in the future. So in a way, I want to create, but I also want to put myself in the work as well. So like little collaborations. Learning of GANs and how to use them have also given me an insight on ways I could sample my favorite works as a way to show my appreciation towards them. There was this painting that I really liked, The Garden of Earthly Delights, and there was this artist who sampled the work. He uses GANs to distort the painting into something different, but it still holds the essence of the painting. However, I'd love to produce my own work, so I think of this idea to sample work and collaborating, creating on projects that I like or with people in a different industry as a side quest. Gretchen Andrew gave a talk and she mentioned how Google looks for T-shaped people. I contemplated on this idea of the T-shape. I know a lot on how to make different things and I often combine them together when I'm producing projects. I've been expanding my T, but I think my focus is either photography or my ability to combine all the mediums together. So my aim is also to work towards the deep line of the T. For now, I'm working on making a synthesizer for my CCI final project. I've always been moved by sounds, but never really learned the softwares to create them. They seem to be very complicated. Last term, I took a small escape and went to Berlin, where I saw this DJ who was operating from the machine that he made. Shortly after that, Tom introduced me to Mosi, an Arduino library. I realized that I could also code a small, simple version of something, and is now set to create these synthesizers to be some sort of an ambience machine. I've also recently came across a creative coding group in Thailand. They host meetup, and I saw on one of the story of this guy presenting this thing called Algo Raving, which I thought is really interesting, and I would love to look into it in the far future.